Welcome, people. It's Q from quedupproductions. And staying with our Waves series, we are going over the SSL G channel. It also comes as an E channel, but I am working with the G channel today. And before I get started, one thing that I want to say, I just really like to show each one side by side so you can at least look at them. Not saying that you need to purchase it, but as with everything in every company, just like you have a Waves version, you also have a universal audio or UAD version of this plugin. Just some of the quick differences just by sight. You can see basically the usual suspects are there. The only difference is you get a little bit more of a change in the EQ. As you can see, this one changes between the brown knob and the black knob, and each one of them is going to give you a slightly different sound. As far as the EQ curves and things like that, not going to get too deep into it. However, UAD also has a version that you can actually affect the signal going in and record that signal going in, but that's something totally different. Okay, so back to the Waves, and not to do a shootout or anything like that. I just wanted to show you that what some of the differences are if you are trying to decide or you're on the fence of which one to get. And again, it all goes back to the sound that you want and the sound that you expect. All right, so back to this one. So this is the SSL G channel. A lot of same similarities when it comes to the EQ. Let me see if we bring up the EQ that we just discussed before. Kind of the same. The biggest difference that I see in between the EQ section and this section here is you have your low mid frequency control here, and as you can see, it has a line that actually leads you up to that. But other than that, it's pretty much the same, except for you have the filter section here, and you have you can decide how you want to do that, how you want to split that signal out, and it comes with instructions, and in that instruction pack it'll tell you what some of these buttons, when you click these, what exactly you're affecting and how your routing is. Okay, so then you go from the EQ section and then to your dynamic section. You can choose your fast and tack release here, and then of course you can set your release time, your ratio, and your threshold. Pretty straightforward. And then you have your expander and gate section here, and again, same thing, fast attack or slow attack, gate on and off, and then your threshold, and of course setting your range that you're trying to set it for. And then down in this section, you have your on and off for your analogness, as we said before. Same thing you have up here in this EQ. And then you have your phase. You can flip the phase of it, and then of course your gain knob, and then your trim. So it's again pretty straightforward, and we will listen to it on a sound. I didn't do that with the EQ simply because trying to EQ things in headphones sometimes, and then by what I'm hearing, you're not hearing through through YouTube, so I didn't want to go that route with the last plugin. So this one has a little bit more dynamics to it, and like I said before, I believe in, if it's anything dynamic wise that you are trying to affect the signal on, I like to hear it, especially if it has it's supposed to be something that emulates an analog type of feel. Then I want to hear that first. I want to see what that does to my signal, just dry without doing anything, and let's see how that sounds. So I got all the EQs at 0. I'm not carving anything. My ratio is 1 to nothing, so I am not doing anything to the signal at all. So this is just the sound I'm going to work with. Okay, so that's with it off, and I'm going to try to do this in between. Okay, so just from what I hear, it sounds like when the plug-in is turned on, it brings the signal a little bit closer to you. So I guess I would say a little bit more presence, and I think that's kind of what the analog feel or the analog direction that people want to go. That's the reason why they want that. Just gives it, a little bit more presence, and it's done naturally. Okay, so let's slam some dynamics on it. Right now I'm just matching it. Okay, a little bit more, a little bit down. Okay, so I think that gives me a little bit more presence. And just tweaking the filters a little bit. Take some of the high end out. Okay, that brings it forward just a little bit more. Okay, let's hear that in context. Okay, so I think that it brings a little bit more presence, brings it a little bit closer to you in the mix, and probably puts a little bit of air around it maybe. But I like the sound. This is again a plugin that I've taken and just spread across all the channels and mixed directly in and through that, just as if I were on a console. And I know it's not the exact same, but if you're going for that type of feel and you want to see what that's like, then by all means go through and try that. But that's my time. Again, the Waves SSL G channel. Like I said, they're running sales, and I like to say this in every video that I'm doing, I guess, in this series. Waves is not paying me. I'm not affiliate. I don't get anything from it. I'm just merely sharing with you guys the type of plugins that I like to use, why I like to use them, and in some ways how I use them. And one thing we didn't go over is all of the presets that comes with it. And these presets come from some pretty well-known people. I don't know if they're the ones who actually did it. I assume they did, but I'm not sure. But it's a good starting spot, and you can tweak from there and then save them as your own and go from there. But anyway, that's my time. Thanks for watching, and hopefully this video was helpful for someone. Be sure to like and subscribe, hit the notifications button so you stay up to date on all my latest content, and most of all, stay queued up. Peace.